Here we go.
On you.
Good evening, YouTube land.
Good evening.
We're grateful that you all decided to spend a little time with us this evening. We hope everyone is still hanging in there despite the current COVID-19 situation. I'm sure most of you, like me, would really like to get a haircut. I know Works Brother Wiley and I need one badly. And you know what? If you guys want us to do one on a live stream, let us know. We might just do that. But welcome to Follow Me. It's good to see everyone here this evening, brethren and ladies. I think it's time for the Tyler to invite everyone into the lodge, and let's get this evening started. Also, please remember to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell, and because we'll be bringing more of this to you in the near future. Works Brother Wiley.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's hanging tough with the current situation that's happening here in the world, and hope everybody's had a peaceful weekend and enjoyed the beautiful sunshine. At least got out in your yard and enjoyed your family. And but I do have a PSA, a couple of them, before we get going on our thought process, because tonight's topic is random thoughts. So you never know
what's going to come out of our mouths.
What could possibly come out of our mouths tonight. That is a fact. But a PSA, I hope that scams already happening. Please make a note that the IRS will never call you.
Ring, ring.
They're never going to pick up the phone and call you. So please be careful out there. Watch out for these scams and other things that could possibly be happening with your money and people trying to scam you and get you to do other things. We want you to be able to protect yourselves. Also remember that nothing is free with this. So when you get your stimulus money, you're going to get a 1099 next April. So you can bet your money that we're going to have to give it back. Roy, don't worry. We'll run over you if we see you in the yard. There's no doubt. Anyway, good evening, Brother Mike, Brother Jeffrey, Brother Tom. All our brethren that are out there watching, the ladies that have joined us too. We appreciate all of you. I would like to share that here in our jurisdiction in the Grand Lodges, Georgia, that we all received a blip out on our Grandview, if you signed up for it, that the Grand Lodges, Georgia is sponsoring a mask drive for the KN95 mask for our healthcare workers. We are currently collecting donations. We'd like to provide those to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. We know that there's a lot of children that are not getting sick or not showing the symptoms according to all the reports, but it's happening to them too, and all healthcare workers need all of these things. So if you would like to donate monetary funds to for us to collect these masks here in Georgia, something that it does. So if you'd like to donate, please, if you've not done so, please sign up for Grandview. There are some important messages being sent out by our Grand Lodge over the last couple of weeks. I've had massive amount of notifications come from Grandview in the last 2 weeks.
He's trying to read and
some caught me at the same time, but in the end of that. But what I'm saying, if you'd like to donate to this mask drive and try to get some KN95s, which are the type of mask that healthcare workers need, you can send your donation to 811 Mulberry Street in Macon, Georgia. I'm pretty sure if you contact Worship Brother Gary Monk, he would probably let you know how you can also contribute other ways. I do not know of a PayPal account or anything of that nature at this time, but I'm sure that if we pushed hard enough, we could probably get something where we can take in some donations. Anyway, that's my public service announcement for today, my 2 pieces of valuable information. Please watch yourselves with people trying to scam you out of the stimulus money. I know a lot of you brethren could be out of work and need this money to pay your everyday living expenses, but understand that it's going to come with a price at the end. We're going to all get a 1099 for it. So Nothing is free if it comes from the government. So understand that.
Yeah, someone said the N95 mask. It's actually the KN95 mask that we're getting.
And Trip, you are not receiving my account number, because if you got into my account number, you would say, "Holy smoke, that's a joke." Just know that we just want to try to keep you up to speed and things that are going on, and if we hear something new. Good evening, Worst Brother Randy Payne, Worst Brother Brian Coffey,
Danny Wolford.
Past Grandmaster Walford, it's good to see you as well. But there's our public service announcements for this episode. I'm sure that we'll have several others as we continue to go through this crisis in the world, and hopefully this thing will crest out over the next week or so. And we talked about normalcy and what the new normal could be. We don't know what that is. So
Absolutely not.
our new normal is Will and I just have to hang out and try to get through it, and he's trying to help me stay calm while the wife and I are trying to move on to our next journey. So,
and I'm trying to bring him up in the way of technical literacy too, because he's a little bit technical illiterate.
I'm a little slow, yeah.
He can be,
but I talk well.
He does, and he talks a lot.
But anyway, so we wanted to do random thoughts. We've been struggling because there's so many topics that we'd like to talk about, and we want to try to keep everybody interested in what we're doing. So we thought, what the heck? Let's do random thoughts tonight and see what we can do, and see if we could, spur some conversation.
Brethren and ladies. In fact, my son and a couple of his friends are watching. So we've got some younger folks on here watching with us, and we appreciate you tuning in to us. But there's 1,001 topics we can talk about as Masons. Some of them we have to be a little more cautious with. Some of them will really help out our friends and family to understand more what we do. Some of them are tougher subjects, and Wiley and I are not afraid to broach those tough subjects. But in trying to come up with something for tonight, we just couldn't find anything we gelled on, because Wiley and I usually gel pretty well on a topic and we can get through it pretty good. We struggled for a couple days trying to figure something out tonight. There's just so many things that touch our lives, touch our families' lives, and have really affected our way of lives that we thought, let's just kind of do open, random things. If someone comes up with a topic in the chat, we'll broach onto that subject if we can, and just ramble on tonight. That's part of what we do here. That we enjoy talking, especially Mighty Mouse over here. And so this is just something we're going to do tonight. And one of the questions that we have tonight is, do you think our members, and also think about this from your end, do your members miss you as much as you or we miss them? What do you all think? What does the G stand for? Author unknown.
You would probably have to be a member to find out what that G stands for you unknown folks. I know that it means a lot to me as a Mason. So you want to know what the G stands for? You know what to do. You got to ask the right questions, and that ain't it. So everybody see my thing. This was a gift to me from Most Worshipful Brother Larry Nichols, and this picture of Mighty Mouse with my face on it, and it says, "Here he comes to save the day." Well, we're not here to save the day, but we're here to make you smile if we don't do anything else during this meeting. So, do you think the brethren miss you? I know somebody misses green beans, Doug McCoy.
I haven't missed those that much.
No, because we have them frequently when you come and have dinner here. But the question is, do you think that our brothers miss us as much as we miss them? And I do think that some brethren do.
Well, I think our wives miss the fact that our brothers aren't with us and get to fill some of the void that they have to fill now. I know my wife is like, go, do your vodcast, enjoy, get out of the house for a little bit. So,
hey, Brother Anthony, good to see you, brother.
I know it's not just getting out of the house and getting away from the family. Our brethren our family as well. And when we don't get to see our family, we all know how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
So I know absolutely, positively, without a doubt, that I miss my brethren.
And we all miss, we miss you terribly. And I know we tell you every week. And I know that we try to make light of this situation the best that we can, because, joy and happiness is what being a Freemason is all about. You gotta have some joy, and you gotta have some happiness in your heart. I miss being able to walk into a lodge, grasp the hand of someone that I haven't seen, and say, "Brother, I surely miss you." Mm-hmm. Because now it takes on a whole different meaning. We talked about that last week. So, and I miss seeing all the lodges that are in my area. I've managed to visit quite a number of lodges in this state. And it doesn't matter where you were at the smallest lodge or some of the biggest lodges, you're always treated with warmth, love, and respect. And as men, sometimes you're not always receiving that love and respect that you hope you can get. Sometimes you gotta take a beating during the day, and that walking into that lodge meeting at night, man, it makes the whole day worthwhile. And it does for me too.
It lifts the burden off of you. And the cool thing is no matter where you're at, pretty much in the world, you can walk into a lodge and it's going to be just like your home.
Yes.
They treat you just like they've known you forever, even if they've just met you. And that is to me, that's one of the coolest things in Masonry. Because I've traveled the country and a large portion of the world. And I've gotten to see Masonry all over the place. And even not sitting in some lodges, just meeting some of the brethren in those lodges, they treat me like I'm one of their own the moment they meet me.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that in any other organization I know of.
And you can't replicate that.
No.
You just can't do it. And that's one of those random thoughts, do they miss me like I miss them? Well, they probably don't miss me because I talk too much. But
well, they get to see you twice a week here, so they're getting somewhat of their fill.
But it's just one of those things. It's just a thought. Most of you saw my Facebook post on Sunday where I had to ride up to see the lodge. I missed the old girl.
Yep.
I know most of you that are watching tonight, at some point you've been by your lodge just to make sure the old girl's okay.
Open the door and just turn on the lights and look around, just thinking of all the good times you've had in there, all the fellowship, all the meals you've eaten in there. Just walk around the lodge itself and look at everything and think, boy, it's fun when there's 20 or 30 or 40 brethren sitting in here and having a good evening. And you've got to do that for some sanity.
So, that was one of my random thoughts that I had, and it was just one of those things that I just thought, wow, I wonder if they do. Make sure that when you go by your lodges, make sure the flag's still flown prevalent, Mm-hmm. There was another random thought I had. I've been listening to a lot of Harry Truman.
Oh, yeah. He has.
Old YouTube videos of Harry Truman. Now, of course, most of you may or may not realize this, but YouTube was not around when Harry Truman was doing his thing. And Harry Truman was a very big proponent of the Masonic Service Association.
Well, tell him what he was in Masonry.
Well, for those who may or may not know, Harry Truman was from the state of Missouri, and he served as Grand Master and as President of the United States. He's the only one in our history to ever do that. Now, we know that Franklin Roosevelt was President of the United States, but he never served as Grand Master. So, and then it was, he was asked one time what was better for him, and he said serving as Grand Master of the state of Missouri was a better experience. But I've been listening to a video, and I watched it again today, and I showed it to Will, and he was giving a speech about Masonic Service Centers. Well, none of us in today's time, we don't know what Masonic Service Centers were. When they were coming back from World War II, these service centers opened in every state 49 Grand Lodges were trying to work together as one to provide a service to the men and women who served in the armed forces and during World War II. And it gave them a place to stop, catch a meal, on to their next duty station or on their traveling home, provided paper and pencils to be able to write notes.
Good point, Doug.
You know, I think that Truman said it best when he was talking about this Masonic Service Association. He was describing how a young man leaves to go off to battle, and he made this broad statement. This was on a syndicated radio show that he was doing at that time, and he says, a father who is a Mason says to his son, when you are in that foxhole and you find yourself in your, and he also says that, you know, wherever you were around the world during this conflict that was happening at this time, that there were brethren noticing each other in darkness as well as in the daylight, was his exact words, to quote him. So, brethren, what I'm saying to you is reach out. Keep your hands out, extended to grasp that strong hand of friendship when it's available to us again. You know, it's a random thought that Truman said it best, that where you find a Freemason, you find a friend. And I can't express that enough. When you meet another Freemason or any other person in the world, they earned your kindness and your respect right off the get-go just by being one of the Maker's children.
Right.
So, you know, every person is due the same just upon our kindness. We heard that in the charity lectures that were given to us in our initiatory work. Okay, we were taught about that charity, the strong hands, the bond of friendship, brotherly love. Okay, so what I'm saying is we need to extend the hand of friendship and brotherly love now more than ever.
Absolutely, Brother Bill. The short talk bulletins from the MSANA are very informative. A lot of brethren don't take the time to read them. They only take a few minutes to read. They're a trifold. Brethren, if you get that chance, go up there and grab it off that secretary's desk and read it. There's some powerful information and some powerful thoughts from the past in those pamphlets that are just amazing to read.
And you know, based off of what Truman was saying and what he said, if you get a chance, go to YouTube. Now, I look at so many blogs and listen to so many podcasts, Masonic affiliated, and you know, the Midnight Freemason is something that I like to listen to, and even though I don't quite agree with some of the views of Brother Chris Hodap, you know, he's written some good things, and I really enjoyed some of the good things. And this is where I first saw this YouTube thing off of Truman talking about the Masonic Service Association. And Carl Cloudy, who is a very well-known Masonic writer, he was a founding member of the Masonic Service Association North America. And you need to really search those things out and look at those things. And you know, I guess here's another random thought based off of what Brother Truman, most worshipful Brother Truman, had to say. You know, at one time he makes a statement, talks about no one will ever be able to wonder where was Freemasonry during a time of crisis.
Right.
Well, brother, my question to you now is, where is Freemasonry during this time of crisis? What are we doing for each other during this time of crisis?
And our community.
Yeah, as a whole.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, and just to clarify why I said that, because a lot of times when we say, what are we, sometimes we get inclusive and talk about ourselves and our brethren. In this case, Brother Wiley was talking about we as a community, as a country, and as a world. And I got to clarify that sometimes, because we do get a little inclusive sometimes because of some of the things we do.
And you know, just with that saying though, with the new thing that is coming out, with the Grand Lodge trying to raise money to buy these masks. We have a brother who has a contact where we can get these things at a great deal. If you can afford $10, $20, whatever, please drop that to Masonic Charities Foundation. Make sure you put, if you write a check, to put mask in the memo. So the money gets deposited. It's completely tax deductible. Anytime we donate to Masonic Charities Foundation, it's tax deductible anyway.
501c3.
I wanted to let y'all know still the update. The kids are still doing okay at the children's home. But I will go back to these random thoughts. If you guys could take a few minutes and study the life of Harry Truman, that was a great man.
Yeah, Brother Todd Smith just asked, can we pay over PayPal? I don't believe we currently have a PayPal set up.
Why? I don't know.
So right now it's a check sent to the address, and we'll pop the address back up there again in a moment. For those, we'll pop it up 2 or 3 times during this, so everyone knows where they can send that check to. It's to our Grand Lodge in Macon.
Yeah, and it's 811 Mulberry Street, Macon, Georgia. I think it's 30201, maybe.
31201.
31201. I know it has all those numbers in it. Doug, that is a good book. I've read it. Accidental President is great. Anyway, back to the random thoughts. Y'all share some thoughts with us. We beg you every week or every time we do a cast to get someone to share us some ideas and things, and we've got a few topics, and I would just suggest you go to the Truman Library, go to the Truman site. There's a lot of information you can learn from Truman. You can go to YouTube, and there are 10 or 15 different speeches that Truman gave. The one he gave to the United Nations, just like FDR, is amazing. Just to listen to this man speak. So I was hoping that I got a place to be in August to go with someone. One of our good brothers who's watching tonight. We don't know if that event's going to happen or not. He's going to personally take me to the Truman Presidential Library. So
cool.
That's something I want to be able to see. But Mike Kessler said you should read Brother Truman. That's a good book. But some other random thoughts I had is, it wasn't anything like why is the sky blue or why is the sun shine.
Why is the sky? No, never mind.
But anyway, I just think.
There's a good question.
I feel that unless we can get a more secure line and a more secure environment, that I don't think we do anything in a virtual thing yet. I also believe that because we're not sanctioned by our Grand Lodge, and Will and I are just giving our opinions on what we're talking about, there's protocol for us to send these things through. We have certain committees that we try to get approval before we do anything, because we just don't want to do things without the Grand Master knowing, or things of that nature. We want to make sure that if we talk about anything Masonic related as it pertains to Georgia, we have to make sure that we're in a closed setting and that everything is approved from our Grand Master.
Yeah, and our biggest thing with doing the online things, you can put all the securities on there you want. You can encrypt it. You can put passwords. But if the wrong person sends that email to someone by accident or on purpose to the wrong person, and they see something that we can't share in the public, then we've done ourselves a disservice. So this is why we have to be very careful with doing the virtualized classes or meetings or anything of that nature. This is why Wiley and I are doing this of our own accord, because we don't want to have to jump through a few hoops.
Well,
and if we get in trouble, it's on us, and it's not on the Grand Lodge of Georgia because they sanctioned this or anything. It's just on us.
And we just want to bring something to people so that they can learn something every week or every time we do this.
And that's the biggest purpose behind this. Our sons, our daughters, our wives, our girlfriends, hopefully not in the same room, can learn something. Those people who aren't Masons, men that are Masons, can learn something about the fraternity, and maybe it'll pique their interest. Maybe they'll be looking for something to do, and this may give someone with idle hands a way to help they didn't know about in the past. So we just look at this as a tool for us to talk. I don't talk as much as Wiley, but I'm getting
better at it.
But it's our outlet. When we go to lodge, I know a lot of the brethren probably think like I do. It's an outlet. We get to sit there with our brethren. We get to have fun. We get to do the business. We get to take care of things. But we get to have that outlet to output that brotherly love that we have. We've had a bad day at work. We've had a bad week. We've been gone on a vacation. We come back. We enjoy seeing those brethren. Right now for us, it's great to see all these brethren on this podcast with us, talking to each other, talking to us, asking us questions, while we just try to spill a little wisdom out of our heads, and then we try to glean wisdom from all of you. So we learn also from these as we do them. Oh, he's typing.
Yeah, he's pecking. He don't type. he doesn't type very well. But we want to keep this in a family environment because we want our wives to be involved, and we want our children to be able to watch. And I'd like for one day my grandchildren to look back and say, "Yeah, Grandpa was just as crazy as I thought he was."
Grandpa was a YouTube star.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't necessarily say YouTube star. He's big goof, but mostly we just want you guys to want to learn. Those are the random thoughts. Or is my time that I give to Freemasonry worth it? That's a random thought.
But I've never had to ask that question. My time in Freemasonry is always worth it.
But I don't mean that. And what I mean to clarify is, when you've spent a long time trying to educate brethren, and you've stepped out on a limb, and you put your head in the vise, and you've really jumped off the cliff, and you say, "Wow, man, is that worth it?" And sometimes you question those things. You question those things as a person because you don't see the kind of results you were hoping for. Sometimes you hope to see a whole swarm change, but in the end, the point I'm trying to make is do things to make it worth it for yourself. Do I feel in my heart that Freemasonry is worth me putting my head in the vise, or putting it in the guillotine sometimes, or opening my mouth and inserting my foot like I do on a number of times? It's worth it to me because if I can impact one Freemason, then that Mason is going to impact another one, and then now we've got a following, and that's the things that are worth it. But always remember, you've got to definitely search your soul for what you want to get out of Freemasonry. Do you ever ask your question after you've been raised and you're a full-fledged member, did I get what I thought I was going to get out of the fraternity? Because that's a question a lot of brethren ask themselves, or they've come away feeling kind of shortchanged. I didn't get my total experience. Well, what were you looking for to start with? When I went into Freemasonry, I wasn't thinking about what to get out of it. I mean, I wanted to go somewhere where I thought all the great men were. I wanted to be one of them. And when they accepted me to come into their fraternity, man, you couldn't tell me nothing else, because I felt like, because no matter what, and for our ladies in our audience, we have to be accepted into a lodge when we make application. And there's no guarantee that they're going to accept you, that you're going to pass their qualifications to get in. So for me, as a young boy at that time, I got that phone call that says, "Hey, you've been accepted." Man, you couldn't talk to me for 3 days. So,
we all know he probably couldn't get through the doorway.
The thing about the whole point is ask yourself, have I given my all to make my journey in Freemasonry better? That's a thought, man. What have I done to make my journey better for myself? Because remember, in the first episode, I talked about what Freemasonry was, and it's a man's journey within himself.
Amen, Brother Randy. Freemasonry is like marriage. It is a lifetime education.
Absolutely, and it's a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
And when you become a Freemason, you've got to be able to chart your path, because even though our teachings are geared towards what all men should do, a man has to search for his own peace.
Absolutely.
Freemasonry is what you make out of it. Your journey is what you do.
Oh, every journey is individual. Every journey is your own. You can't look at Brother Wiley here and say, I want a journey like his.
No, you don't.
Trust me, you don't want to walk that rough and rugged road.
Ooh, no, you don't.
But every journey's your own. You make it what you want to make it. And it's just all there is to it. The brethren are there to help you through that journey, but it's yours ultimately. It is yours 100%. And just like marriage, it's not a 50-50 relationship. You got to give 100%. But you know what? If you give that 100%, you'll get more than 100% out of it.
And brethren, we've got to also make sure that we know in Freemasonry that sometimes they are pitfalls, snarls, and a lot of rugged road to travel. When you're in a fraternal organization going against the modern world, and the modern world's trying to creep into who we are, and it really creates discord, and it really creates a lot of dissension. Mm-hmm. So you got to ask yourself, am I going to practice the teachings that were given to me? Right. When you're talking about those things, you got to really look at yourself and remember the first question that was asked upon any Mason when he went into a lodge. They ask you where you were prepared. I don't think that's some secret out there for anybody. You all know the answer to that. The problem is we got to really go back to those days of study. I know all of you guys that are gamers like to play in game rooms, go to the man caves and this and that and the other. You've got to go into your studies and pull out the books, look at your books in Freemasonry, study your craft, and be the best you can be at your craft. It's like your job. I mean, when you got a job, you want to be the best at it.
Right.
That's the only way you're going to get a raise.
Well, just like anything else, you do have to study and you do have to do stuff. But there's a lot of good brethren out there who've put stuff together. And one I want to mention tonight that I meant to put out on our Facebook page, and I haven't. It was my neglect. I'll get it out there tonight. So, because I'm going to talk about it right now. Works Brother Brian Coffey.
Yeah.
Has a blog put together. It's called Parking Lot Mason. I'll put out the link so everyone has it. But his latest one is on maintaining fellowship during social distancing. It's a fantastic blog. Brothers, please go out and read this. And like I said, I'll put the link up on Facebook. And I'll put it on our Twitter page so that you guys can get to it. And you ladies, it's open to anyone. But it's some really good reading if you get a chance. So, there you go. Works Brother Brian. You've got your plug.
So I just know that I know sometimes I'm like the attention span of a gnat, as I like to use pretty often. I holler squirrel quite often. As the squirrel comes by this house quite often. Let's say works Brother Bill, and I'm appreciating my last raise as well. I hadn't really got much of one of them, but I'm really appreciating it. But anyway. So that's some of my random thoughts that I've had, and I don't know why I've been so drawn to Most Worship Brother Truman's work over the last week. But it really has been something that I've really been leaning on. Someone made a comment to know thyself, and someone also said, some of these things is like being a Christian. Well, whatever religion you come from, that's not for us to judge here in this forum or in this setting. But we all, as Freemasons, we know that we have to believe in one. And, now be a good time to go to that one, because the world needs it more now than we ever known. And, they say my check's in the mail. I ain't seen it yet, but I know it's coming. But anyway, that's the gist of my random thoughts tonight, Will.
Yeah.
It seems kind of short for me with all the things that I like to talk about, but the main thing that was tonight was about, when a brother is out there somewhere, we're still supposed to be able to recognize who they are in darkness dwells in light.
Yep.
We want to know what is Freemasonry going to contribute to this crisis, and throughout all of history, through the world, through all the world wars, through epidemics, all the way back to the Revolutionary War, Masons have contributed something to the survival of what we have going on.
And brethren, don't think that because you don't have a fat bank account, can't write a fat check to someone is the only way you can help. Go to your next door neighbor. If they need help, they need food, they need something, help them. If the old man down the street needs his grass cut, offer to cut his grass. If he needs his garbage taken out, just those acts of charity and kindness will pay dividends to what's going on in the world right now. So don't think that money is the answer to everything, because we all know it's not.
No, and I'm telling you, brotherly love, morality, and relief. Remember where you were taught how important they were. As Masons, you were taught that at a specific point, on a specific time. You were taught about those three things. You were taught of their greatest importance. You were also taught what our greatest gift is. You were taught that on your first night. So you think about these things and think about what you were taught and apply them to your life. Yeah, it'd be nice to roll up with a fat bank account and just say, here, we'll do this. But picking up the telephone and calling and checking on a brother means more to that person than any dollar amount you can put in their pocket.
Absolutely.
So, and I say that loosely because even I fail at that by not picking up that phone enough. Brother, know how much it would mean to another member of your lodge to check on them. And I would like to offer this as well. We're not going to be down in the darkness forever, No. We're going to be back at prevalent in the forefront.
It's a bump in the road.
It's just this is a major hill. This is not even a bump. This is a pretty high obstacle right now. It reminds me of a song by Tim McGraw, to always be humble and kind. It takes nothing to be kind to anybody. It takes a real man to humble himself. To help others. And I'd like to offer this to lodges. When we go back to doing our thing and we get to go back to lodges, I would strongly urge you to open up yourselves to your community. Offer a free lunch or a free dinner for your community. And I would strongly offer those things. There were a lot of breakfasts, things like that planned in the month of March and April. Why not have a community breakfast on a Saturday once we get back established? Right. Now, some of us will probably have to be chasing district conventions around, but other than that, you see where I'm going with that. And we should really start considering having festive boards for us just to sit and enjoy each other's company. We don't have to go up and have a lodge meeting. Now, we have to on our stated nights, but other nights, and let's just have a festive board and break bread together.
Yeah, meet at a restaurant. You know, and one of the things I want to offer here, if anyone out there at their lodge would like to get together with their members and they don't want to have anyone technically savvy within their own lodge, feel free to reach out to me or Wiley, because he can pass the information on to me. I can get you set up with an online forum so that you can meet with your brethren through an online thing like Zoom or whatever. Don't think just because someone in your own lodge can't do it that we can't help you set that up. We're here to help you. We're here to try to educate you. We're here to learn from you, and we're here to be with you. It has been an absolute honor to be with all of you tonight. We had over 50 concurrent viewers at one time tonight. That is fantastic. We love each one of you for showing up with us and having fun with us this evening. Now, I want to throw this caveat out there. We're going to have a live one on Thursday, and then we'll have another live one on next Tuesday. However, next Thursday, a week from this coming Thursday, that will be a recorded episode. Of course, Brother Wiley has got to pack and move. So our little studio here will not be in operation at that time. So we're going to put together a short, probably 15 or 20 minute video to throw up there that'll probably have some interesting stuff in it. Well, it will have some interesting stuff in it for you to watch and enjoy that evening. And then once we get him settled up in his new place and get the studio set up, then we will be back to live again on that following Tuesday.
Good Lord willing.
Good Lord willing.
If Michelle don't kill me during our transition to our other place.
Yeah, if you see me by myself, Wiley's dead.
Now just know that we are so thankful that everybody gives it. But if they watch it over a period of 3 days, we've accomplished what we want to accomplish. But we know that these things, once lodges start functioning again and we're gone every night, and we know that most of our shows then will be
recorded.
Will be recorded, and we'll be moving to, doing our thing, and they'll be back down to 10 or 15 minutes at that point. This is something I don't think that now that we're doing these things, I don't think Will and I want to give something like this up. We enjoy it too much. It gives us a platform to meet with you guys on a different level than just being at the lodge. And it also gives us a platform to discuss history, masonry as a whole, and for the most part, share some brotherly love, man. But anyway, that's all I have.
Brother, please, when you're on your bended knees, please remember our healthcare workers. They put themselves in front of danger every day right now. Remember our truck drivers? If it wasn't for them, this country would shut down. They're the ones who have those toilet paper rolls on the back of their truck. Remember our military? They're still out there facing peril every day. Remember first responders? They're right there with our healthcare workers. Remember any spoken and unspoken requests. I'm sure that that you brothers that meet together know of those spoken requests, and we all have our unspoken requests. So just remember them when you're on your bended knee. And brethren, it's been fantastic. We look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. And with that, be excellent to each other.
And don't forget to practice brotherly love, morality, and relief. Good night, and we love you, and we will see you on Thursday.
Good night.